Hi guys, this is Vishal from DrapCode. So in this video, we will understand how to make an external API call where you are taking the data from a non-persisted collection. You are using DrapCode as a front-end builder and send the data to any external data source or an external API. And the JSON structure is a bit complex. It is not straightforward key value pair. So you want to use raw JSON, right? Maybe like a Notion or Airtable where the JSON structure is not straightforward. So let's see how that can be done. So here we have a project, we have a collection called project, and it has a couple of fields. So let's say name, status, priority, and this collection is not persisted. So we are not storing anything here. So now let's say I want to create a form which will take the data and send it to Airtable. Okay, so we have a Airtable which has name, description, status, priority, and started, all the same fields. And I want to make an API call to create data directly on Airtable. And to make an API call Airtable is expecting something like this, right? So this is the JSON structure which is expected, which is not a standard key value pair. This is a bit nested JSON where the data is coming inside records, inside an array, and all these things. Okay, so let's see how to pass such complex JSON. Like in case of regular key value pair, the JSON are usually like this. Key value. So this is something which goes in DrapCode as a default JSON, but if it's bit different, it is not straightforward key value pair like here, then there are other ways to do it, and we'll see how we do it. Okay, so now to do this, let's create an external API. So external API is the module which we use to configure all the APIs which are getting called from DrapCode. So I'll say create external API. So I'll give the name, let's say create project on Airtable. Now let's go and check the configuration. So it's a post call. So we have seen post, the URL. I'll just copy the URL. Okay, then mapping. So since we want to send data from a collection which is not persisted, okay, so we'll choose collection. Why we are saying non-persisted? Because we are not storing anything, but it helps you to build form, it will help you to build data group, data table, because you have the fields configured. Otherwise you will have to do everything manually, right? So it's a good practice. You create a collection, mark it as not persisted, but it will help you create everything like a typical collection will do. And these collection will now get mapped to an external data source, right? So this collection we are mapping it to Airtable. So this is the checkbox which say if you try to uncheck, so it is saying this is non-persist collection, right? So because it know that this collection is getting mapped to Airtable. So this is fine. Now let's go to Airtable. So it is asking authorization, bearer, and token. So I already have copied my token, so I'll just use it as it is. Okay. Here other is content type. So this is optional, so it's completely up to you because we anyways add it when we make a JSON call, and that's all. Okay, now the data, the body. So we don't want to send default JSON which is a key value pair, so whatever is coming, so this we don't want to send. We want to send it as a raw JSON, right? Because the structure of JSON is different from regular JSON. So I'll just copy this, paste it here. So now if you can see, it is actually creating two records, but since we have a form and we are creating one record at a time, so I'll just remove the other record. Okay, so now this is just one record. So now we need to replace these values from dynamic value, the data which is coming from the form. Since we have mapped a collection to a form, so we can see the fields here. So this is the collection which we mapped, project collection. So it will wrap all the data in project collection. We can access it from here. So I'll say show fields. I'll say here we want name. So I can just either copy it here and paste it, or you can just click the plus icon. So it will automatically paste name here, right? Same thing go for description. So I'll put description, show fields, which is description. So you need to make sure that it follows the proper JSON structure. Status, I'll say status, priority, and date as maybe start date. Okay, and you can highlight this so that it shows you all the variable fields in the JSON. So we are saying the data which is coming from form wrap into this structure and send to year table. Okay, and I'll say save. So the setting is save. It is now. Let's go and create the collection and bind an event. So I'll go to my page. So let's go and drop a collection form. The advantage of collection form is that it creates the structure of the collection for you so that you don't have to create or give each field manually. Okay, so this is the form. Now let's go and create an event, and then we'll come back here and bind the event to this form. So the event is, let's say, create project on year table. That's all. Create. And I'll say we don't want to store anything, so I'll just skip and I'll directly say send data to external API. Which API? To create project on year table. Okay, and let's say I'll give the name year table success. Save. That's all. Now let's go to the form and bind this event. So what we are saying, as soon as this form gets submitted, send this data to year table, and while sending the data body, wrap it into the JSON which year table is expecting. So we'll go to the settings and choose the event which we just created. That's all. I'll click preview. So let's go to year table and see how many projects are there as of now. So as of now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe I'll just delete a couple of these. Okay, so it has only 2 projects. So let's create one more. So I'll say project one more, some description, status. Okay, so I'll just choose the status from the valid list. So I can also create a drop down like I've done here. In the priority, it is a drop down. So let's say medium, status is done. Why I'm choosing from the valid list? Because your table can throw an error because this value is not inside the range which it is expecting. Okay, and let's say start date was 1st of March. Okay, and I'll say submit. So as soon as I click submit, it will send this data to external API, which will wrap it to the structure which Airtable is expecting and send it to Airtable. So a new project should get created on Airtable. So I'll click submit, send the data, Airtable success. So it has actually sent the data to Airtable. So let's go to Airtable. You see the project is here. Let's try one more project, 2 more. Status is, let's say priority is high, date is some other date, and not done. Let's say I'm just giving some random name. I think it should fail because okay, so it is saying error from source because this is not mapped. Okay, because this value does not exist. So either we need to send done, in progress, or to do. Okay, so let's say to do, and I'll say submit. So this should pass, right? Because this is in the valid values, Airtable success, and the data is yet to do high and all, right? So this is how you configure raw JSON when the JSON structure is different from key value pair and send it to external API and using DrapCode as a 100% front-end builder. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you again in the next video. Bye-bye.